Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Duo here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to Doctor Who Season 2, Episode 8, titled The Reality War. Battle rages across the skies as the Doctor risks everything to save one innocent life. Now, this episode really surprised me because I was actually intending to do the reaction to it, last night. Because normally this comes out about um, mid afternoon to late evening on a Saturday for me. Yeah, no, they decided to do a global release for this episode, meaning it didn't come out until 3:30 in the morning. I was obviously asleep then because I have things I have to do today. So, I don't have the most time to do this right now, but I need to. So I'm still a bit stuffy from having just woken up. But, yeah. So I don't really know what to expect from this episode because, well, I don't know what to base it off of with the last episode because that's a really weird episode. But I do want to clarify one thing. When the Doctor is falling from the Bone Palace, he keeps on saying that Poppy is real. I had no idea what he was meaning by that, but it's the fact that Poppy is a real person. Like we know Poppy from Space Babies, so um, but Conrad and the Ranis, none of them would know about her. So how did she get brought in to be the Doctor's daughter? Other if something odd wasn't happening, and like she's a real person, none of them would know about. So yeah, something must be up with these wishes. And if you go back and watch Space Babies again, Poppy asks the Doctor and Ruby if they're her new parents, and the Doctor says, "Oh, I wish I was." So could that play into it? Like Desiderium is bringing in other wishes, not just Conrad's. That could be interesting. But yeah. Final thing I want to note before we get the episode started is I have this. It's David Tennant's Sonic. I completely forgot I had this. It lights up and makes an annoying noise. I don't actually know if that came through or not, but yeah, it's got like three different variations of Sonic noises it can make, and it really annoys my dog whenever I turn it on. So yeah, I just thought that was cool and a good thing to bring out for the season finale. But let's get this started in three, two, one, go. Also, I didn't mention it, but I want the Rani Sonic. It looks cool. It does look like an old fashioned syringe, which apparently was this inspiration for it, because to tie into her more scientific backstory. And I still don't know whether Desiderium counts as the third of the Trinity. Like, can you really call a baby a villain? So, is there going to be another villain coming out? Could that be Omega or something else? Hey! I was wondering if we were going to see her again. I've forgotten her name. Ah, right. What in the Groundhog Day? But the doctor's not there because the doctor wasn't a part of it. I am glad she did come back. Interesting. Hmm. So how does that work with the Rani's plan and everything? Hmm. Do you know all that? I mean, there would have to be doors to Gallifrey before it was destroyed. But yeah, that's a good point. There was no I was not expecting that. Okay. And oh, that would be a little confronting to see. To be fair, that happened before your time. Yes, that is what the doctor does. Well, you're already getting nines this early in the morning. Oh, they found him. Hmm. So apparently, Omega's the one that gave the Time Lords the ability to time travel. He gave them that perpetually exploding supernova or whatever it is that taught them how to explore time. Hmm. I thought he was what? Hmm. How can you exactly slip when you don't have any tea ready? Does Poppy fit into all? And he remembers everything. How does that factor into everything? Because can you really slip? Hmm. Okay. Hey, you remember. Where is the TARDIS? Because apparently last episode was the first time the TARDIS hasn't been in a story for ages. Are we going to use it? Yes, we're using the Time Hotel to collect an army. I'm gonna need you, you, and you. Interesting. Hey, the blinks. Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that she'd probably be wiped from. Oh, I would that not be um the same as um same as the others? is Rose not the same as Shirley in the fact that she just exists underneath everything out of view if Conrad couldn't even think of her? Hmm. Wasn't Ruby's mum also um somewhat working with the unit? She's still got her moped. It is nice to see someone like him so uncomfortable. You don't remember Poppy? Did you really need to write it all the way up? Okay, so Desiderium does count. Hmm. Hello, Mel. Yes, you have. Not gonna let her have a second of the plan. Hmm. Okay, I will say this is very exposition heavy because they're pulling so many things from the original. She just said she skipped but how where do Time Lords come from then? Okay, so life finds a way. Except she's also human. Well, didn't the doctor once say he was half human on his mother's side? Here's the question: if the doctor never has a child, how does he have a granddaughter? And they cancel each other out. Hers is stronger. Okay. Ah, they're turning the Seal of Rassilon into the Seal of Omega. How is this going to go? Because they have created a dilemma. Couldn't they theoretically just take Poppy back into the time hotel and then, like, then make her come out after? Hmm. It's basically a time Faraday box. And it is good that it's Susan Triad, the real tech genius version of her. Big. Yeah, I could never. Unless it put me in stasis, I would not be able to stay in there for very long. That's not really doing much. Hmm. I thought that when we saw the promos for this, that crate was going to be like a prison or something. And this is all to take out one. There's at least four of them. Cushion. We never did find out what his arm can do. Like, can it do anything? Oh, here's the issue. He still has Desiderium. Hmm. Oh, I thought he was going to use the teleport thing, but using the air scooter's fine. Oh god, the actual tower moves. I was wondering what the wheel was for. Remember what happened the last time you were on that platform, Doctor? Here's another question I have. If all of the doctors and all of the Ranis have bi-generated down their regeneration line, are all of them sterile, or with the earlier versions a little awkward? It broke the link. A little bit. Is he gonna try and trap the Rani into the Underverse? How is this going to work considering Omega doesn't really have a body of his own with the whole antimatter universe and that? You're right. She doesn't. You gotta admit that's a little creepy. Apparently, that shot of them walking through the park was it actually in the episode. That was so. I'm surprised they keep using it. Yeah, there's the giant CGI monster. And nope. Was not expecting her to go out that quickly. And the one you just ate. That was always gonna happen. Question: can she regenerate again? Or is that the end of the Rani's line? Hmm. What can the Vindicator do? And behind him. I wish you had a loving family. Hmm. I guess that really does put a cap on they're not bringing the Time Lords back after after what the Master did. Question: what are they gonna do with this godly baby? Can you wish unit fixed? Really, Conrad's room was the TARDIS? I guess. Okay. That would be why she didn't trust him going in, because it would have responded to him. Hey, now both your companions have a baby. Just now he's a normal baby. Did say it never cried. The fact that they still remember Poppy, though, and he did say it would be like she never existed, so the memory, the memory itself should tell you that she was safe. It's also a good name for a god. Are you really gonna baby proof the Targus? We still never learnt about Ruby's father, because she could conjure the snow. Poor Ruby. Why do they keep um that's not a jacket. Like Gossamer. They were never going to let the doctor keep a kid. you do it? Say, Rose and Mel did not really have much to do in this episode. Who's the boss? That's fair. Um, what about her wish for Conrad? I thought that was going to be a setup for the spin-off. One wish didn't. Can't Doctor just do his little mind melt thing? That is a good way to look at it. Brings in a different spin on the whole they are so beneath him. Because Kate had something trigger when I mentioned the daughter. Hmm. So much for a trip to Neptune. Actually, we still have several minutes left. Because this episode goes for an hour and six. I spoke for several minutes beforehand. What? I would have thought that the TARDIS itself worked worked as a null space. Again, they've placed they placed this fugitive before 14. You never do. I was not expecting Jodie. No, she's here to help. I was not expecting this to turn into a little multi doctor at the end. But they said that by generation ran all the way down the line, so I should have worn my timey-wimey shirt. People have been wondering whether Jodie would be coming back. Yeah. I don't remember if I got the thought out, but that's twice now that they put the fugitive doctor between Jodie and Tennant's second. I wonder if that's an important thing or if it is because of how the doctor remembers and he didn't know about the fugitive doctor until after he was already Jodie. I haven't heard anything about who's going to be the new doctor. Like, there's been no announcements or anything of a new doctor. How's it going to go with Rogue if they ever do manage to save him? Ooh, could Jonathan Groff be our new doctor? He's taken faces from his past before. I'm not doing it inside this time. So she's not the doctor's anymore. Going to actually see her dad. Because he wasn't in the Wish World either. Conrad's dad, Ruby's dad, Belinda's dad, Poppy's dad. completely human. Well, I mean, Belinda's line did have to carry on for. He's gonna have to leave before she comes back. Unfortunately, I won't be me. I don't actually know if we're going to get the regeneration this episode. Just looking at the time on my recording, it might cut off with the flash. Well, at least he's not doing it inside. Not the strongest parting lines, but the most fitting for this Doctor. I'm sorry, what? I wasn't actually expecting. One, I wasn't expecting to see the Doctor, and Billy Piper. Okay, okay. I mean, I did say about him revisiting an old face. One of the favorites, not necessarily his own face, but okay. I'm gonna let this play out in case there's anything, because there hasn't been like a skip. Um, okay. Yeah, it seems like that's the end. So, I've made it very clear time and time again. I'm bad with faces. When he regenerated into Billy Piper, my immediate thought was, is that Billy Piper? That's why I had such an immediate reaction. And then I looked at it again. I'm like, wait, no, I don't want to actually say that in case I'm wrong. Then I'm gonna look like an idiot because she was one of the biggest parts of um like the revival series, at least the first few seasons, and she's still regarded by a big subsect of the fandom as one of the best companions. So I didn't want to say that, but okay. Hmm. Well, that is very interesting. They kept that under wraps real well. Um, just like they kept Tenet under wraps until he actually regenerated. I had I'd not heard anything about the new Doctor. Um, huh. Okay. Um. Right. Hmm. So apparently there have been there have been like reveals about it. According to um leakers, um said that the 15th open ended regeneration, which means we don't know who it's going to be, may not be as open ended as we thought it was going to be, and the 16th Doctor has apparently been cast. According to them, she is female and familiar. This was apparently said 21 days ago. Um, and everyone everyone was saying It's gonna be Joe Martin. There was one person, um, 20 days ago saying Billy Piper. Um, but everyone else was, everyone was Joe Martin. Um, there was one person who said, Olivia Colman, which could have been interesting. And then 4 days ago, according to Major Leaks, they're like it's going to be Billy. But okay, so it was leaked, but um was not touched upon by anyone that I've ever seen. Okay, well, that was very surprising. This this episode was weird. It was not at all what I was expecting. Um, Mel, I'm gonna be honest, she only existed in this episode to give exposition. Like she went in the mad scramble, yeah, she helped with the teleport pack, but that could have been done by anyone. Rose Rose was only there to show the type of people that Conrad wouldn't even think of. I still want to know what makes her different from from um from people like um Shirley, because they said that Conrad didn't even think about any of the otherwise able people in the little encampment, and so they just slipped under the radar and everything. Yet they also say Conrad wouldn't think of trans people, so she just didn't exist. Why? Why the distinction? Hmm. I really don't know. Who knows? Maybe Conrad's just generally unaware that trans people exist, and so unlike um unlike people who need, I don't want to say disabled because I've been told that's wrong, but it's the way in which I know to describe them. So he knows of otherwise abled people um existing. So of course they'd still have to exist, but maybe he just doesn't know trans people are a thing. Um, I was not expecting the new Rani to go out this episode. Like, if any were, I was expecting it to be Mrs. Flood and the new one to slip away. But how is that going to work? Because Mrs. Flood's still out there. She's still the Rani. Like, really, she can't she can't regenerate anymore. She's done her regeneration. So, but then again, 15 said that he was only healthy because of the healing that 14 does between the bi generation and when he becomes 15. So there's still a point in the timeline where that has to loop back on itself for 15 to carry out. So how does that work? Like, does she also naturally just turn into the new Rani? I don't remember the actress's name. And then that's just going to be carried out until she can regenerate? Or is Mrs. Flood the last of the Rani line? Um, Ellie over at Who Culture's not going to be happy about what happened with Omega. She was wanting to actually see them, not another big CGI monster like Sutek, but that's what ended up happening. The Mad God, the Titan, that is very distinctly different from a pantheon god, because there was a theory going around that Omega, in his time in the Underverse, became a god, like became the god of time, since he is credited as giving the Time Lords their time travel abilities, making them the lords of time. So it could really be seen that in the way that Sutek ascended into actual godhood from just being an Osiren, then Omega could have actually become the Lord of Time, the God of Time. So, yeah. Um, it's a little surprised they went that way, and that it was so easily dispatched. Like, they kept hyping up the power of the Vindicator so much that it was obviously going to play a part. I was not expecting it to turn into a beam cannon. Um, anyway, I've got to wind this one down because, like I said, I didn't have much time to do the recording anyway. But that was an entertaining finale, and I'm very interested to see what Billy Piper's doctor is gonna be like. Um, because, huh? How how awkward would that be? Should she ever go over to Pete's world? Like, there you've got Rose and the Metacrisis doctor, and then in comes the doctor wearing Rose's face. Like that, I know that's not gonna happen. There's also the ironic thing of almost every episode in this season, I have related to a David Tennant episode. And then we get David Tennant's first companion as the new Doctor. Yes, I know she's also Eccleston's companion. Really, she should be related to that, even though she did have a longer time with Tennant. But I never watched Eccleston. I started with 10, so that's what I know her from. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But I've got to end this one here. So with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.